The previous animation, Lunar 1, was more for purposes of effect. For example, a huge mysterious castle appears in the script, etc. There were many scenes that had a significant visual impact in Lunar 1. But this time, the animation was more drama-oriented. There were many scenes in Lunar 2 that showed the inner struggle of human beings presented through the images displayed. Japanese animations are done differently from those done in American animation. In American animations, they make the dialogue first and adjust to that dialogue. We call this pre-scoring, matching the dialogue and writing it into a plan that is given to the animators. The drawings are then done to match the dialogue. However, in Japan, animators construct the images, and then, according to those drawings, voice actors will add their part while watching the animation. First, we create the drawing based on the original artistic rendering. We then use the computer to paint the color into the drawing. This is called Paintman. Like this, we paint by hand, many sheets, one by one. As this drawing shows, the character itself does not move. When we want to move only hair, if we put hair and character together, we have to make many drawings. And there's also a danger that the character may look a little different. We therefore make hair by itself. When we film it, we put the two together. It will look like the hair is being blown by the wind. The graphic data created on the computer is rendered using Macintosh software. At that time, the background is filled in with a watercolor drawing. The director, Toshiyuki Kuboka, was originally an animator. When he looks for beauty in hand-drawn art or detailed artwork, he turns to watercolor paintings. Subtle variation in shade of color or thickness of paint layer, the subtle accents created by the touch of the brush, these things cannot be done quite well enough with the computer. First, when the camera moves from one end to the other of this overlay, we slide it slightly to give it the 3D effect. The floor here is where the character walks. In front of that, we place this one, and then we place this one on top of that. The screen itself is moved while the character is placed in the center. This produces a pretty good 3D effect. This is the regular method we used here for this type of animation. We scan it with a scanner, and on the computer screen we add various adjustments and effects. After that, we place the character drawing on top of this background. We also adapt 3D CGI for use in these works. This 3D CGI consists of light wave images. Using this, we make a composite that results in two-dimensional images. We can also take a hand-drawn picture and render it in a light wave image. There is a scene where the blue star is captured by the camera as it approaches the Earth. And then at the end, it enters into the tower and captures Lucia. That was something we wanted to do from the time of the Sega CD or Mega CD. At that time, however, technically it was a bit too difficult for us to do. So this time, since we were able to do that scene, we hired a special design expert to help with this scene's effects, and we devoted a lot of time to it. The most difficult scene was at the end. We used the CG there also. A scene of a spectacle was very hard. Since this is a game, the scenario keeps changing throughout the creative process. We therefore have to rewrite the scenario and Ikante to match the game. The spectacle scene towards the end was added onto the existing art as if there is a summit with fog around it. And when we reached that point, we discovered another summit yet to be reached. This is Destiny, a battleship built for the land. It has a fin part that allows it to advance, to move forward by moving the fins. The modeling is very complicated, so when we complete one, we will use it for many different scenes. When we first make the original model, it takes a considerable amount of time. However, once made, to actually run the model through its movements does not take that much time. Natural things such as ocean, clouds, smoke, etc. are difficult to create. To make them look real is a challenging task no matter how much experience you have in doing this. Nature is difficult.
Gonzo went nuts with CG stuff, and they really did come into their own, blending that with the traditional hand-drawn animation so that you get this really wonderful mix of 2D and sort of 3D CGI that looks like 2D hand-drawn.
Music accents the playing of the game. Without music, playing the game is so empty and lifeless. Music expresses the emotional climate. There are a lot of pleasures associated with composing music, but at the same time, there's a lot of pain as well. When I started working on these projects, I started to get gray hairs around here. However, I enjoy creating music. Especially matching the music to the animation scenes is enjoyable. Usually, most composers want to use their time composing music for movies or popular songs. So I feel we were very fortunate to have someone like Mr. Iwadari, who understands music, but who was also willing to participate in the making of the story and expressed his opinion and created the music to match the story with a lot of emotion. As for Lunar Eternal Blue, the image was somewhat more grand and mysterious. We used the piano as our main instrument and added orchestration to it. I felt that it required a more worldwide sense, and I therefore included ethnicity to the music to some extent. Among the characters who appear, there is a girl named Jean who is a warrior. The place where she lives is called Carnival. It's a fun place. We wanted to give some sort of specific character to this town, and we therefore included percussion-type instruments like the tabla, which is from India. And on top of that rhythm, we thought that adding guitar and violin would make it more fun-sounding. Also, for the villages, we included some Indian music using the tabla as well. In the orchestration, we use Debussy and Ravel type of music. I personally feel that we also have Sibelius included in it. By using the influence of Sibelius, we try to express the cold weather scene. Even though it is Northern European, I felt that gypsy was also in it. So I tried to include an element of gypsy in it as well. For the sounds that are heard in the game, we use the internal sound of PlayStation. We use the Sound Designer 2, and we also use software that is specially designed to be used for the PlayStation, that converts the sound for use in the PlayStation system. If I click this, you can hear the sound of the bass drum or cymbal or tambourine. This is the sound of the oboe. We just put each sound in a timeline. Then we will mix it at the end. For example, like this. Originally, this music would be produced by an orchestra, and then we have to convert that into this small 200 kilobit memory. This was the hardest point, and it demanded a lot of work. My company does Lunar's game programming and graphics. Also, at the completion of the game, we finish it in CD form. There was a huge quantity of graphics. For graphics, we used about 30 to 40 people, and the rest were project planning and programming. There are people who work on backgrounds and those who work on the characters, and they each make their own products independently. But then we put them together, and we see how well they complement each other. The hardest thing involving my work is that it doesn't leave me much time to sleep, especially as we approach the end of the project. First of all, in the morning, I don't get up because I'm already up. I've been up all night, and I program, then eat, and program again. Since we made the game in such a way that everybody can complete the game, I don't see any player having any problems. But if you get hurt, it is best to go back. That would be the quickest way. If you push yourself too much, you may end up being defeated even by a rather weak enemy.
早く勝ち抜いてほしくないって。
I don't want the players to win quickly. I want them to enjoy the story. And I believe it is much more enjoyable to take your time in playing the game.